Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. Today we're gonna be cooking some Turkish. It's like a Turkish dish. I know the name of it, but I don't want to butcher the name, so I'm just gonna write it in the description. But what we're gonna need today is some parsley. We're probably gonna use like maybe this much of it, the whole thing basically. Need 2 tablespoons of butter. We need some white rice and soak it at least for 30 minutes. You're going to use 2 cups of white rice. And we're going to need some salt, some pepper, some cumin, 1 yellow, what is this, onion, and we're going to need some breadcrumbs, if I said that. But you can use any flavor you want. You can use plain. I just feel like, garlic. Got garlic in there. I love some garlic. We're going to use some extra garlic. You're going to need 3 eggs. This you don't have to use. I just give it a little cheesy flavor. So some Parmesan cheese. And 1/2 pound of ground beef. And you're going to need this to grate our onions. So if you don't have this, you can probably chop it up in a fruit processor. But I haven't tried that, so I don't know. But stay tuned. And before I forget, we are also going to need 4 cups of water for the rice. So get your 4 cups of water ready. So we are going to start by adding our 2 tablespoons of butter. Let that melt down and get nice and buttery. That's the word I guess I'm looking for. So the butter has melted down and we are going to just add in the rice. Okay. So add all that in there. Give that a stir in the butter. Get it nice and coated in that butter. Yeah. So after we get it coated in the butter, we're just going to give it about 1 tablespoon of salt. Remember the rules for salt. You can always add it, but you can never subtract it. Give that a nice mix up with that salt. I'm just going to let this cook for about 3 minutes with the salt and butter. Okay. So while your rice is cooking with the butter and salt, we're just going to go ahead and grate the onion. I kind of already started. But what you want to do is just go like this. And I recognize it's kind of easier staying in one spot. And be very careful because you can accidentally slice your fingers. And we're just going to grate it on up. So this is how I grated it up. Some pieces are bigger than other, but it's very hard grating, so just take it as you go, guys. Now our rice then cooked with the butter for about 3 minutes. It's just getting ready to stick, which means it's perfect. And then we are going to just go ahead and add in our 4 cups of water. There we go. So we kind of want to bring it to a boil on like medium heat, medium high. And once it gets to a boil, let it boil for like 2 minutes. And then what we are going to do is turn the heat down to about a low medium and cook it until it is done for about, I would say about 12 minutes. See how it's coming to a nice little boil over here. So cook that on up. And so this is how your boil should be looking. Whip it, whip it, whip it. Okay, let me quit playing. So right now what we're going to do is we're going to turn it down to like a medium low. And we are going to cover that bad boy up and let it cook for about 12 to 13 minutes. While our rice is cooking up for that 13 minutes, make sure you guys washed it. And we're just gonna cut these up in kind of small little chunks, like so. Even after you chop it, like usually what I do is I still go back over it another way. Just kind of bunch it all up in my hand. And just chop up all the all the parsley into little baby little things. I don't even know what to call them. Chop them up, you want them really fine. And this is how my parsley looks. There's some big pieces, but most majority of it is little, so you want it just to be just like so. We are going to take the breadcrumbs like so, kind of just sprinkle. And what I forgot to mention to you guys, I'm so sorry, is you're gonna need 3 tablespoons of all-purpose flour. So like so. 1, 2, and 3. And just, let me use my hands and just mix it together really well. Get it all mixed as one. So it should be looking like, and break up the flour balls. But it should be looking like so. But actually, I actually want a few more breadcrumbs. I prefer more breadcrumbs over the flour. So yeah, like so. And just kind of flatten it out. And we will come back to this. So now we are going to check the rice. And the rice should be very little fluffy. And taste it to see if it's cooked all the way. And what we are going to do now is just put this in a bowl and kind of let it cool down till you can handle it, till you can touch it. So I'm going to transfer this into a bowl now. So here is the rice. You can actually put it in the refrigerator for about 20 minutes just for it can cool down quicker if you're kind of like in a rush. Okay, so our rice has cooled down to where it's good to touch. Now we're just going to add in about a tablespoon of your salt. And we are going to add some pepper, which I am just going to use the pepper that comes in things. I don't feel like twisting it. So, and you're going to actually use a lot of pepper. It's going to seem like a lot. Hopefully you guys don't get the sneezing, because I know pepper makes me sneeze. I'm trying to put my face back so I don't smell it. So about this much pepper. And we're just going to give that a good mix around. Mix it up, mix it up. Oh, I'm making a mess there. Oh, I think my sneeze is about to come. Okay, so then we are going to add in our parsley. We're going to add in our onions. And we are going to add in the raw ground beef. And you can use your hands for this part. And we're just going to mix it all up. Make sure it gets all mixed up. You don't want the ground beef just to kind of stay in one spot. You want it to go everywhere. So mix this up. Kind of knead it together. And while we're doing that, we're going to take our egg over here, beat it really quick. Just give it a light little beat and add that in there. And just mix this for about 2 to 3 minutes with your hands. You want it to get really mixed up together. So I've been kneading it now for about 2 minutes. In the middle of that, I'm going to just add a little bit of garlic. Your girl loves some garlic. And just get that mixed all around. You kind of want to have like no just white spots of just rice. You want to make sure it's all together. like so. And this part is optional because we like spicy here. Even the kids like love spicy. I'm just gonna take half of this out, and one of them are gonna be hot. I'm gonna put some crushed red peppers in it. So let's move that one to the side. So this one is gonna have some crushed red peppers in it. My husband like truly loves spice. Even my 5-year-old, he's like a spice lover. I should just put this in a bowl so I can mix it properly and it's not falling. But hey, so mix that up very well. And then that one's good. Okay, back to this guy. So your meat and rice and everything should look like so. Nice and put together. I totally forgot this part, like absolutely forgot. So we're gonna need like 1/4 of a tablespoon of the cumin and put it in each one. Like I got the hot one over here, so I'm gonna go ahead and put it in the hot one also. And then this part is optional also. Just take a little bit of my Parmesan cheese and add that in there. And mix that with the cumin up in there. And now all you want to do is get your vegetable oil nice and heated up. And the rest of the eggs, which there should be 2 left, whisk that and have that set aside for our next step. So what we're going to do now, we're just going to take about a little handful like this. Whoa, this guy doesn't want to get cooked. Like so. You don't want it to be too big. It will take longer to cook. And kind of just smush it just about so. And just continue to make all those. You don't want them too big, remember. You kind of want them a little flat. Like you want to make it into like a little, I don't know what this shape is. And then you kind of just want to flatten it out to give it time to cook. Yes, Azila. So I'm going to continue making these, and then we will move on to the next step. So I got them all made, and what we're going to do is just dip them in the breadcrumb flour mix. Make sure you kind of get it well coated. Let me get an extra plate. And we're just going to put that there and kind of keep going on and on. And then once we finish coating them all, hey, it's breaking. We are going to put them in the refrigerator for about 15 minutes. So coat all of these and then put them in the refrigerator. So this is how they look after I had coated them with the breadcrumbs and flour. Now what we're going to do is we're just going to go ahead and place them in the refrigerator for about 15 minutes. Let them get nice and hard and cold. Okay, so now that they have chilled in the refrigerator for about 15 minutes, what we are going to do is just take one, give it a nice little turn in the eggs and kind of let it drip off the excess eggs. Let's see, get all that off. And we are just going to place it down. And we're just going to keep it going as in so. And these are like really good, like finger food, like appetizers. I like to eat mine with hot sauce. I actually made a vlog about the hot sauce that I eat with it. Oh, my finger got stuck. Oh no. Well, I guess he doesn't want to go in the grease. And just continue going. And we're going to keep them on one side for about 5-6 minutes, and then we are going to flip it and we're going to cook the other side for about another 5-6 minutes. And you want your heat on medium, and you don't want to crowd the pan. So you only want to put, how many we got in there? 4, maybe 6. I mean, depending on how big your pan is. But for this little guy pan over here, I am just going to add 6 of these in here. And we're gonna let those cook up for 5 minutes, maybe 6, and we will be back to flip them. So it's been about 5 minutes, and I am just gonna flip them and let them cook on the other side for about another 5 to 6 minutes. And you see that golden crisp color? That's how you want it to be. And make sure you cook them for about 6 minutes, because remember, the meat that we put in here was raw, so we want to cook that meat up. We don't want no uncooked meat. So anywho, let these cook down for about another 6 minutes. Okay, so now it's been about 6 minutes on each side, and this is how they are looking. That brown is perfect, I tell you. And we're just gonna take them out now. Drain some of that excess oil off, and boom, your finger foods, whoa, are good to go. And now I'm just gonna cook up the rest of them, because I have about another 30 more to go. So here it is, guys. We are all finished up. It goes great with this Somali hot sauce. I actually have a video about that. Check it out. Let me show you guys the inside of it. Look at that. See that steam is still hot. The rice, you got the parsley in there. It is so good. But I hope you guys really enjoyed this video. Stay tuned for more.